So, y'all make some noise for one of my brothers, one of my favorite people, the co-author of the Blue Book, Mike Faraci, everybody.
Thank you, brother. I know what I'd be thinking if I were you. Who the heck is this guy? So before we get into any of the fun stuff, I'm going to get into a little bit of who I am, because I don't like listening to somebody I don't know. I want to pay you that respect. My name is Mike. I spent 20 years in the mortgage industry. 15 plus of that was in capital markets. So like the real nitty gritty of the mortgage industry. If you ever banged your head against the wall because your loan officer that you referred a deal to wasn't able to get you that free 2-day extension that you needed, I was the person that said no to him because he didn't have a good enough reason, right? And then he probably ended up eating that cost to make you happy. So that's the world that I lived in, the buying and selling of closed loans on the secondary market. I spent 15 plus years in that. All those loan program guidelines that all your buyers need to qualify in, I wrote every word of every guideline for independent mortgage banks for 15 years. I handed out glasses of warm milk and cookies to read them with as people went to sleep. Also, in my free time, I picked up a camera about 15 years ago, became a passionate photographer, learned how to make a pretty image. Luckily for me, that's when Canon, at the time, was the equipment I was using. They started putting a little red button on their photography cameras, kind of the prosumer level type of stuff. A few years later, I thought to myself, pretty pictures are great, but if you know how to make a pretty picture, does that make you know how to make a good-looking video too? Well, almost exactly, yes. And then over the next decade, I learned how to make a really nice-looking video, which is a skill that has been all but commoditized by your phones, because phones are incredible at this now, and they do the things that I needed hours and days and weeks and months of research and learning to figure out how to do. So you already have an advantage over my baseline knowledge, right? Like your advantage is just the tech that's in your pocket or purse. That's all you're going to need to be able to get on video. You notice me and Kyle signed all those books. Above my signature, it says HTRB, stands for hit the red button. That's what we want you to do. That's what we want you to come away from this doing, that red button, the record button. We want you to hit that red button. It's actually the URL of my company, hittheredbutton.com. That's how much I believe in this. So hitting the red button is something that's near and dear to me because before I turned this into a living for myself, it was a creative outlet. And that's what I was really passionate about. And working in secondary marketing, an inherently boring field, I was trying to find a way to scratch that creative itch. And I did that through new product rollouts. Now, new product rollouts, usually not exciting. Here's your 20-page book of guidelines. Have fun falling asleep while you read them and figuring out what to do with it. This is why when you roll out a new product at a mortgage company, new product adoption is extremely low, unless you're some sort of a new company who's just now rolling out VA or something like that. That's not the place that we were in when I was doing this at the independent mortgage banks I was doing. We were rolling out non-QM programs, bank statement loans, DSCR stuff for investors, lots of different things. And I thought to myself, how can I get people to pay more attention to this stuff? So I looked at that red button and I hopped in front of the camera instead of being behind it. And I started making little 5-minute product rollout videos, little intros. Hey, mortgage people, don't ignore this one. Here's the aggregator we chose. This is why they are our investor on this product. We chose them because it fills these gaps in our current offering. It does all of this stuff, but don't worry about that. This is how you're going to get the foot in the door. Focus on these little niches. Next thing you know, new product adoption goes through the roof because a human was speaking to humans as humans do, instead of just punting a bunch of technical guidelines at people and asking them to interpret it the way that the greatest of experts would. Loan officers and real estate agents, you're not paid to read guidelines and interpret them. That's what I was there for, right? So I started doing it for people, and they enjoyed it. So I kept doing it. I kept doing it so much that I didn't have enough videos to make because there wasn't enough products to roll out. So I started making some general educational videos, posting them to a little experimental YouTube channel in my LinkedIn feed. This was probably back in 2018, 2019. And I was just answering one question for myself. What information do I wish I had when I first got into the industry? If there was some sort of a video library that I could have gone to in 2007 when I took my first real job in mortgage as a wholesale account executive, what would I have wanted to see there? How could I have learned more effectively than the stuff that I had to do to get to where I got? What's an adjustable rate mortgage? How does it work? Mortgage banking. You hear about hedging loan pipelines. What the heck is that? The Fed funds rate and how it relates to mortgages or doesn't. These are videos that I made and I put out there. And I didn't know if they were getting seen or if they were doing anything for anyone until a former COO that I had worked with at a previous company called me. I hadn't heard from him in 4 years. He said, "Hey, Mike, I just want to let you know the videos that you're doing, please keep doing them because my daughter just took her first job as a loan officer. She's going through the testing process right now, and your channel is who I point her to for her foundational knowledge." I was like, oh, talking to people the way that people talk connects. In 2021, I was offered a job as SVP of Content and Education for a fintech mortgage startup called homebuyer.com. Did that for a year. They were bringing in about a dozen first-time homebuyer leads per week. They were doing some ad spend on some social medias and stuff like that. I came in, I built a video library. I built a first-time homebuyer curriculum, 36 units, take people through the whole process, front to back, all the way through, and post-closing for being a good homeowner, not just a good home buyer. Fast forward a year later, with some SEO optimized blog content and the videos that were running only on YouTube. We weren't really doing anything anywhere else. A year later, we were bringing in 24 first-time homebuyer leads per day, and we had dropped 100% of our ad spend.
100% of our what?
Ad spend. Nothing paid, all organic, just putting out good information that people want. These are the things that connect. Now that fintech had a nationwide audience. You guys don't. And that's fine because you can repurpose all of these strategies to own your local markets more than you already do. And that is where this comes from. The Mattress Method. Modern visibility. That's what we're talking about today. Because if you're not visible, you are. And if you are invisible, can people choose you? Because they don't know you exist. And that is what we are fighting. That's what we're combating. Because the people that don't do these things are going to be less visible than the people that do. Because where you are active, where you spend time, what you're comfortable with, how you get the warm fuzzies or not, and where you show up doesn't matter. The thing that matters is whether or not you're showing up in front of the people you need to have paying attention to you. So that's what we're going to get into today. After 2021, funds ran short. Startup life was rough. We were doing good lead volume. Unfortunately, the founder wasn't monetizing those leads very well. He was not a great recruiter of salespeople, so he didn't have a conversion mechanism to turn them into loans. And he didn't have a good, bottom of funnel to spit them out of to sell those leads and monetize them at the level that we should have. So he was trying to raise funds, couldn't, and he said, "Man, we got about 30 days runway left in the bank." And I said, "I need more security than that," because I had a 1-year-old and a 9-year-old at the time and a stay-at-home mom, who's my wife, who's amazing. She had just put in her resignation about 3 months before that so she could stay home and take care of the kids full time because we were doing so well. Next thing you know, we were only doing so well for another month. So I ended up going back to the mortgage bank that I worked at previously, and they said, take all that school that they paid for you to attend in the last year and do that for us. Put together a business plan. They gave me a 3 to 5 year runway. Unfortunately, that was 2022. 10 months later, that 3 to 5 year runway was cut short and the project was pulled. They kept me on staff, but cut my salary in half. And I did the quick math and realized that that salary was not enough to pay the bills. Like the bare minimum bills, didn't have it. So after a rough year of 2022, where the whole family got COVID and my grandmother, my last remaining grandparent, passed away, and me and my wife lost both of our dogs and went from a 2-dog household to a 0-dog household, and I had a stroke at 39 years old. After all of that stuff, on December 30th, I get the call that my salary is being cut in half. And on January 1st, I start Google searching how to get set up to do Uber Eats deliveries and maybe pick up some dog walking gigs in my neighborhood. Because I don't care what I do, I have to put food on the table and diapers on butts. That was my main concern. Sorry, I get a little emotional when I tell this story. I apologize. End of January, the founder I had worked for in 2021 hops on the phone with me and gives me a little verbal smack upside the head and says, man, you gotta stop selling yourself short on what you do with video. People need this stuff. And I took that to heart. And in February, I launched Red Button Media. And that is now my full-time job. My full-time job is taking the content systems that I built for myself and providing them to the mortgage and real estate industry so you guys can be as visible as I needed to be in order to build my business from scratch with zero reputation. Imagine what you can do with your head start. So, getting into it a little bit, what's the deal with mattresses? What's the deal? I do a terrible Jerry Seinfeld impression, but you can hear his voice say this, right? He never said it. I said it. I'll put those words in his mouth because he's not here and I'm not going to get any flack for it. Mattresses. When I say the two words, mattress store, give me a show of hands. Who has a mattress store come to mind? A local mattress store. Who knows of a mattress store in their area? Who just doesn't want to raise their hand because they're scared of being interactive? You all know your local mattress store. Stop lying to me. Raise your hand if you're breathing. There's still hands down. Now I got a barometer. Thank you. Lord. So, in my neighborhood, it was sit and sleep. We'll beat anyone's advertised price of your mattress is free. I mean, I hear the guy's name, and then his accountant comes in the background. You're killing me, Larry. I heard those ads on the radio at least twice a day on the way to and from work. Every single day, just hammering it into my brain. I bought 2 mattresses from them. It worked. But here's the thing. How often do mattress manufacturers recommend that you buy a new mattress? Any guesses? Shout them out. Okay, I heard 8 to 10. It's 7 to 10 years, right? Now, everybody stop, because right now you're thinking, oh, when did I buy my mattress? Stop. Okay. Much like a real estate transaction, a mattress transaction runs on about a decade-long cycle, give or take. So why the heck are these mattress stores paying to be in your face every single day? Because it's table stakes for their business. Because if you don't think of them when you think of a mattress, they have failed and they will not survive. They know how important visibility is. And it's not just mattresses. Who remembers the Denny's Grand Slam breakfast? $1.99, are you out of your mind? Love it. Absolutely love it. But that was a marketing masterclass of visibility. They stopped running those ads after a while. and saw an immediate 15% decrease to top line morning revenues. Immediate. That's a huge whack to a company as large as Denny's. Why? Because when they were running, they weren't killing it with $2 breakfast plates. It's not the reason. The reason was because when people thought breakfast, people thought Denny's. When those ads stopped running, when people thought breakfast, 85% of people thought Denny's. But that other 15%, that lucrative 15%, they thought of other options. So they turned those ads back on and they ran for a while, and that 15% came right back immediately. And then they ran them and ran them and ran them until they found something else that worked just as good, and they pivoted their messaging. This is why the big brands spend so much money on marketing and visibility, up to 7% of top line revenue of the brands that we all know and love. $2.3 billion a year for Disney. $3.5 billion a year for Nike. Over $27 billion a year for Apple. These are not their yearly revenues. This is the 7% piece of the pie that gets allocated to marketing. Okay? This is a real thing. Real dollars and cents are being spent. We don't have to spend this kind of money. We can do our own version in our own markets. But the reason they do this is not to granularly track the ROI of every penny they spend on whatever spreadsheet that they're using. It's to avoid opportunity cost. Marketing spend in 2025 moving into 2026. Creating the content that we're going to talk about. Being more visible. This is not an ROI proposition. Because if it was, you wouldn't see Apple spending millions of dollars a year on billboards on the side of the road. Impossible to track the ROI of that. TV commercials, impossible. It is impossible to track the return on investment of all of this ad spend. But if they don't do it, they know that Samsung and Google will. And if they don't do it and their competitors do, they become less visible. With less visibility comes invisibility or irrelevance in their market. And when you become more irrelevant, you better believe that bottom line is going to reflect it. And that opportunity cost is why they spend that kind of money. Because they need to avoid the opportunity cost. At any given time, somebody driving down the highway is 24 to 48 hours away from a new phone purchase. Apple needs to be on that billboard because they know if they're not, Samsung is, and they're going to lose that deal. This is table stakes for these companies, and we need to flip our thinking as to why we market and why we get in front of people. It's not to fill a pipeline with leads. It's to create more conversations with people we wouldn't have met otherwise. It's to be more visible so they have a chance to choose us, because visibility equals profit. We talked about the billboards, the print ads, the product placement. You see product placement more and more in the TV shows and movies that we watch. Every time you watch something that is a Apple TV Plus original show or original movie, you better believe they're all using iPhones. That's very intentional. There's a reason that the Transformers movies from a while ago, when they originally launched, all of the good guys were Chevrolets or GMC vehicles. That cost a pretty penny, that product placement, just to be visible as an underlying message that this brand equals good. The TV commercials, obviously, emails and text messages, we're going to get into that. And of course, social media. What I want you to see here is that social media is just one distribution channel for content. Because when I say video, or video content, because content has kind of an air about it these days. When I say the words video content, who thinks social media posts? Who thinks Instagram Reels? You call them Reels and I hate it. Because Reels are an Instagram and Facebook specific thing, and a video should not be a Reel. It's multi-platform. Right? But social media is just one distribution channel for your content. So you don't have to be some social media mastermind. You don't have to be some person that exists on all of these different channels. I know some people from previous conversations and previous days just don't like social media at all, or don't have experience with it, or don't really exist on there a lot. There's a lot of people, right? What's that? I'm calling you out, man. We talked at the bar. You know this. Don't act surprised.
Hey, come on, you just gave me the keys to a Cadillac. I'm doing something right.
It's all right. You don't need to have a crazy social media presence in order to succeed and be more visible. Does it help? Sure. And does it level the playing field? Absolutely, because it's the first ever free distribution channel for video content. Before social media, it was all pay to play. You're looking at pre-roll ads in front of movies and theaters. You're looking at TV commercials. You're looking at, I don't know, maybe some more affordable cable TV commercials and different time slots and things like that. You can choose your local markets, but there was no way that you could make a video and just get it in front of a bunch of people without paying the price for it. Social media has completely annihilated that concept, because any video that anybody makes, you could whip out your phone, make a 15-second something right now while I'm talking and post it somewhere for free. It costs you nothing but that 15 seconds of time. Really levels the playing field. And that's why you don't have to have these big brand budgets to be successful. This is where consumer attention is, people. I'm just going to leave this up there and get out of the way so you can take pictures of this slide, because it is shocking data and it is true. I did not make this up. Americans check their phones 205 times a day. If you sleep for 6 hours, that's roughly once every 5 minutes. When you think about it that way, it becomes a little bit more realistic, right? 81% of people check their phone within 10 minutes of waking up. Terrible habit, by the way. I'm a victim. I do it all the time. I need to not do it. I need to get better. 43% consider themselves addicted to their phone, and I'm willing to bet that that's just the people that are honest with themselves, because it's way higher than that. Because if you don't believe that you're addicted to your phone, imagine yourself leaving it behind and having to be out for 24 hours without it. And that anxiety you feel, that's the addiction. And 66% of people use the phone on the toilet, so if your clients poop, you need to be getting in front of them. Let's go. This is valuable time. Why is this valuable time? Because there's no competition for their attention. It's like a radio ad. It's a captive audience at that point. What do you think people do on the toilet these days? They don't grab the same magazines we all used to. People are scrolling through the feeds, looking for something interesting or funny, entertaining or valuable, something that's going to add to their life or help them escape from it. These are the things that people are diving into on a daily basis. And we need to be one of those things. We might not entertain all the time, but we sure as heck can be a value add to someone's life. So how do we show up? With content, preferably video, more of it than you're comfortable with making, published where your clients are paying attention. That's the simple formula. It doesn't make it easy. This stuff is not easy to execute. Founders, executives, I wouldn't have a business if this was easy to execute, because nobody would pay me to do it. But it is simple. Where are the people that I need to be getting in front of paying attention when I can't be there physically? Because like Kyle touched on a little bit in the Q&A yesterday, in his table talk, video is the ultimate means of communication. If you guys take one thing away from this, I want you to take away that video content is not a social media post. Video content is not a thing you do for business. Even though that's the title of the book, video content is not a thing you do on your phone or with a camera or with a fancy setup or with this or that. Video content is nothing more than a means of communication. There are three main ways that we communicate with people. We communicate with people in writing. That's written content. We communicate with people verbally or audibly. That'd be your radio shows, your podcasts, your things like that. And then we communicate with people with all of our being. They can see us. They get our mannerisms. They get our inflections. They get our eye contact, which builds trust. There have been college studies that have proven that couples that make more eye contact with each other fall in love faster. This is powerful stuff. It's how our brains are wired. Kyle's the first person that told me this. 2 days from now, you're not going to know you didn't see me in person. You're just going to know, yeah, I saw Mike the other day. This was after a Zoom call. Because that's how our brains are wired. Video leaves nothing to guesswork. They don't have to interpret a sentence that you wrote a certain way. They're going to understand how you mean it because you get the opportunity to deliver it the way you want to. If I put this whole talk through a transcriber and then sent you the written transcript, would the passion come through? No. That's why I'm here. That's why I flew from Southern California to Columbus, Ohio. That's why I'm FaceTiming my wife and my son. That's why I was in tears on Monday night because I missed them so much. Because this matters. And there's a way to multiply this. Effectively make tons of little yous. Anybody ever had the thought, oh man, if only I could clone myself. If only I could create more me's, this would be so much easier, right? When it comes to getting your message across to an audience, that's exactly what you can do. Take yourself digital, and there are so many yous that you can't even count them. It's a scary proposition when I look at some of you. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And the way we do this is by building a system. And this is going to be a briefer overview, but the vast majority of this system is right there in that book. Kyle gave us a beautiful 3-chapter lead in, and then on the rest of it, it's all the video content system, how you can build it for yourself. This book, this talk, this everything is me basically saying, here's the keys to my business. This is what I do for my clients. Here's how you can do it for yourself, and you don't have to pay me to do it. Now, there's a few of you who may have a little more money than time. You might want to pay me to do it. Give me a call. But for those of you who have more time than money, keys to the castle are right there. And they're about to be right here. So let's get started with step 1. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. You aren't making content for you. So you don't have to like it. You don't have to like the way you look. You don't have to like the way you sound. You don't even have to like the way that it was recorded, the place that you were in, the time of day, the thing that you were or weren't drinking, the shirt you were wearing. It doesn't matter because the judge of whether or not a piece of content is good is not you, it is your viewer. And not just your viewers, But each individual audience member gets to make that determination on their own. You know, is politics a little divisive in this country right now? It's because the audience gets to decide what they like. Nothing's for everyone. I am not for everyone. There's probably people looking at the clock right now, waiting for me to be done. That's fine. I'm not for everybody. And I'm comfortable with that. That's why I can show up as a grown 5-year-old boy. Because the people that I am for, I'm really going to be for. And those are the people that I'm going to work the best with. The people who don't like space or Star Wars or comic books or any of the other crazy stuff that I surround myself with on a regular basis, you know what they would be? A pain in the ass for me to work with. I would love for them to self-disqualify themselves out of my sales funnel. That's fine, because there's enough to go around. We don't need everybody. We just need the real ones. Let's go find the real ones. And the way to find the real ones that are going to work the best with you is by showing up as your authentic self. How can I tell you that I was in tears on Monday because I miss my family? How can I be so open about having a stroke that was blood pressure related at 39 years old? Scary, by the way. Do not recommend. Check your blood pressure. It is the silent killer. There's the second thing I want you to take from this talk. A $50 blood pressure monitor on Amazon and checking every day or every other day could save your life. I almost lost mine, and I will never be without one again. So do that thing. But showing up as yourself is the number one way to connect with people that you can't be in front of. You don't have their numbers in your phone. And have them self-qualify into being people that would want to work with you. Just show up as you. Second point up here, nobody sees everything you publish. I fall victim to this too still, because it's hard. Because when you talk about the same thing 87 different times, and then you flip on the camera to talk about that same thing, the first few times you show up like this. By the 87th time, you show up kind of like this. Because you're bored with yourself, right? But as you continue to publish content, as you continue to get in front of people, as happens, your audience grows. You reach more people. You reach new people. So I know if I reach somebody 6 months from now and I don't say that thing again, they're not going to get that message. And the reason that I talked about it early is because that's the stuff that's like in my heart of hearts. That's the stuff I really believe. I call it my core content. These are the 2 or 3 things about you, about your business, about everything that you have going on that you believe so powerfully that you need everybody you come in contact with to know. Well, in a digital content world, in order for that to happen, you got to repeat yourself a lot. But who here loves it when they go see their favorite band and they don't play any of the greatest hits? You think it's boring to them by now? Yeah, but that's their core stuff. That's their greatest hits. They need to put this out because they're not playing the song for them. They're playing the song for you. You're not making content for you. You're making content for your audience, the people that you want to be in front of. And you do look funny. And you sound funny too. So get over it. Good thing is there's a scientific reason for it. Has anybody ever seen any of those pictures of celebrities where they like cut the person's fit? Am I done? Are we done? We're done here. All right. So hey, they're playing me off early. I don't know what to do. Has anybody ever seen pictures of celebrities where they cut someone's face in half and then they mirror it over and they look really weird? That's because humans are asymmetrical beings. And you, my friends, only ever look at yourself in a mirror. So you're only ever seeing a mirror image of your face. And when you record a video of yourself and then watch it back, that's how we see you, not how you see you. And subconsciously, whether you know it or not, you're going to look weird to yourself. You know how to solve it? No, it's a good one. There's a bet. There's a better way. Exposure therapy. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it and trust that that's how we see you. That's the face that we see, for better or worse. But that's the face we want to see when you show up because it's you, it's yours. Your voice. We hear your voice straight from your mouth to our ears. The way that sound waves travel, when we hear our own voice, it's projecting out, it's bouncing off things, it's coming back, especially when you have a microphone in front of you, it's a little weird. It's rattling around and all the blood and guts up here, bones, all this stuff. We don't hear our voice the way it actually sounds to other people. That's why you're going to sound funny when you watch your videos back. So you are going to look funny to yourself. You are going to sound funny to yourself. But you need to know that there are scientific reasons for this. And you look and sound exactly the way we see and hear you. And that is exactly the person that we want. Whether you believe it or not, that's exactly the person that we want. Don't hate yourself. And the camera adds at least 10 pounds. So everybody, that's true. Whether it is or not, we'll call it true. What's the reason for what? People want any excuse for looking fat. Yeah, I like dessert, man. But, it is what it is. Step 2 here, create some target viewer personas. Everybody needs 3 to 5 of these. And they need to be extremely detailed. I don't use the marketing speak that most marketers use. You will hear the term ICP thrown out a lot. That stands for ideal client persona. I am aware that our industry is different because not everyone we want to reach is a potential client. It could be a referral source. It could be a recruit if we're trying to grow our business. It could be any number of people. We need dialed in target viewer personas. I like to have 5. If you're just getting started, make 3. The way that you create these target viewer personas is to think about the client that you love serving most. Now, I know, I love serving every client. Yeah, everybody loves serving every client. Greedy. Stop it. I'm talking about digital visibility. There's an ocean of people out there. We need to narrow down who we're talking to. Because if you don't do this, then your content's not going to be able to land with the people that you want it to be landing with. It's like getting in your car, looking at your GPS. I'm from Southern California. I always use the LA example. It's like hopping in my car and plugging in my GPS, Los Angeles. And then just driving where it tells me to. And then when I get to whatever that end destination is, me looking at my GPS and being mad that it didn't take me straight to the Hollywood Walk of Fame where I wanted to go. But I didn't tell it. That was a bad input. How can I expect a good output? Knowing who you're talking to is the input, because if you're talking to a move-up home buyer who's listing their house and they want to buy a new one, or you're talking to someone who is listing their house for sale because they're downsizing, moving across the country to be closer to the grandkids, as opposed to that move-up home buyer who's kind of going just to a different school district, is the context you speak to them in going to be different? And that's exactly why we need target viewer personas. Because with every message we deliver, if we don't have a vivid picture of who we're talking to in mind, then the context is going to be off. If you're not talking to someone, you're talking to no one. And especially if you're talking to everyone, you're absolutely talking to no one. And this is a good thing because it gives you clarity. It lets you do some soul searching, some digging into your business. Who are the people that I really do love to serve? Who are these people? Are they young families? Are they people looking to get into retirement and sail into the sunset? Are they people who are relocating to my area or away from my area? These are things that we need to think about. And it can be a multiple number of them. That's why I give you at least 3 to 5. But when you start to make a piece of content, when you start to talk about things to these people, you got to know who you're talking to. And that's how you can guarantee your message is going to resonate with that audience, because you're actually speaking to them, and all your competition is just trying to pick up low-hanging fruit. They're just talking to everybody. And they're giving you generic messaging that applies to all sorts of people, and it's not actually going to hit home with anyone. Sorry. I'm wearing 3 microphones right now, and I'm pretty sure I just tapped one. I'm sorry to whoever's audio I just clipped. My apologies. 1, 2, 3. Kyle had 4 mics yesterday. 3 mics yesterday? I got 3, 4, and I'm a mic. We got 5 mics up here. I beat you. Step 3, know what you're selling. Know what you're selling. We're going to do it this way. Laura, what do you sell?
The dream.
Maria, what do you sell? Convicted.
A lifestyle.
A lifestyle. Ken, what do you sell?
Myself.
Kevin, what do you sell?
I have no idea.
There you go. I went through a startup accelerator in 2021. Chris, what do you sell?
I sell problem solved.
You sell problems solved?
Yeah.
What are those problems?
Not having a house big enough, not having a home in an area I want to be in, having a home I don't want anymore.
All right. Chris is on the right road. I'm not going to hand you the mic because you'll take over, I can tell. The reason I say we do this startup accelerator style is because I went through a startup accelerator in 2021 with that first-time home buyer company, the startup I was working with. Founder actually very kindly invited me to attend it with him. This was my aha moment. This was my light bulb moment. There's a light bulb on the front of the book. This isn't where it comes from, but this is my light bulb. It was day 1 of this startup accelerator. I knew we were a mortgage company. I knew we were a fintech. I had good knowledge of them. I've been in the industry for 20 years. I know this like the back of my hand. And the leader of the accelerator said, hey, you guys got all these Post-it notes. Write down everything you sell. I was like, oh, mail it in, baby. I got this. We sell money. We sell loans. We sell home ownership. We sell lower outgo. We sell this program, that program, every program in between. And he said, great, throw them all away. I was like, but I just worked hard on these Post-it notes. And he said, now take more Post-it notes and write down what your customers buy from you. I had nothing, guys. I never realized those were 2 different things. What you sell is often different than what your customers buy from you. And Chris was kind of starting to hit the nail on the head over here. Somebody's not buying that 4-bedroom, 3-bath. They're buying, if it was my 4-bedroom, 3-bath that I was moving into, because we're currently in a 3-bedroom, I would be buying an office that's inside of the home, so I don't have to work from the literal corner of my uninsulated garage anymore. I made that one little corner look real pretty for videos, and it's inspiring, but it's still the corner of a garage. And it's 92 degrees in the summertime. It's not great. Maybe they're buying a nursery for the baby they're planning. Maybe they're buying a school district for their little ones who are about to start. Right? The things that our customers are buying are different than what we are selling. So the thing that we need to do when we hit that red button, start making this video, we need to stop talking about the things we sell. We have to start talking about the things that people buy from us. If we know what they're buying and we know exactly who they are through our target viewer personas, then we are ahead of 95 to 99% of the competition. I'll move a little faster because I know I'm going long. I get long-winded, passionate about this stuff. The problems you solve are the number one thing to talk about in your content. They cause pain, they cause stress, they cause anxiety. You solve these things. You alleviate that stress. You alleviate that anxiety. I know that nobody's going to give you a blank check, but that is priceless, man. When I sold my first house, not as an agent, as a homeowner, when I was selling, my agent was great. The buyer's agent was not. And I felt that as a home seller. Stress, anxiety, everything. My agent did a good job to help alleviate that stuff. Thinking about these help your message resonate. Just remember that you are not the story's hero. Never get in front of a camera or get on a stage and start talking about, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. That's not what it's about. You're not Luke Skywalker. You are his lightsaber. You're not Indiana Jones. You are his whip. You are Captain America's shield, not the hero acting. That's your client. Your client's the hero. It's their story they care about, not yours. So position yourself that way. Be the trusted guide who understands and empathizes and gets it and has dialed the messaging in to make sure it's just for you. Because as we start creating content in volume, we're going to be making enough content to talk to all of our target viewer personas. Develop your content pillars. These are the 5 that I like to kind of fall back on, but you can pick some ancillary ones as well. They can be your local market. They can be specific to you. They can be just kind of the way that you do things, the things that you believe. They can be personal stories. They can be about something you did at church. But if you're ever at a loss for what to talk about when you're about to hit that red button, talk about the news. Get out there, be the news source. Don't be subject to the news story, okay? You want to be the person that people trust to go to for their news, not the person they kind of cross-reference it with after they see all the silly headlines that are being published out there. Education, that's going to be natural for you guys. You are experts. You know tons of stuff. I'm going to give you one tip about education: foundational knowledge. The stuff that you learned in the first 2 months when you got into this business, that is potentially life-changing to someone who is not in this business, experting in it all day, every day like you are. Foundational knowledge. My mortgage knowledge could fill novels, but one of the most successful videos I ever had was just explaining how an adjustable rate mortgage works. Because that's the stuff. Those are the things that people hear and they just don't understand. What's an arm? I thought it was something you kept in your sleeve. I don't know what I'm doing. You can be the light. You can be the clarity here. Empathy. Identify the problems you solve. The best hook I've ever experienced to any video is just identifying a problem someone has. Hey, you feeling cramped in that house after that last baby? Like, what do they think? Oh man, yeah. We got this person sleeping here. I'm building a crib over here. We got this. It's like they're thinking about their real life problems. And that gives you the crack in the door to step on through and say, well, you don't have to feel cramped in there. It's okay. I see this all the time. About 2 months ago, I had somebody who felt just like that. And this is what we did to get them through that situation and into a better place. Just reach out. Reach out if you want to chat about that for you. You don't need hard sells. You don't need hard calls to action. You don't need click this link, go to this place, do this thing. Just, I'm available to you. That's all it takes. That's really all it takes. The soft CTA of being a genuine human who is available is more powerful than any lead magnet or click through or online application could ever be. Storytelling, your wins, your losses, especially your losses. That's how people identify you as human. Nobody wins all the time. And your FAQs. If someone has asked you a question more than once, it needs to be a video that lives somewhere that people can access. Because those are just the 2 people that were gutsy enough to bring that question to you. There's a lot of other people who are too shy to ask it. If anybody asks a question just once that makes you think, good question. Once you find that answer, if you don't have it already, flip on the camera, record a video, answer it. This can build a foundation of frequently asked question content that you can point people to. Or you can just save them on your phone, and the next time somebody has that question, you text it to them. Funny you asked that. recently made this video, made me think of you. Give it a watch. It's about 45 seconds long. Let me know if you have any questions after this. It'll save you time, and it gives you an opportunity to visibly and verbally communicate, get that eye contact. Even though it's a recorded version of you, it still works on that subconscious level. You will get that FaceTime, so to speak. I know Apple coined that term, but that's what it is. You'll get that virtual FaceTime with them without you actually having to spend the FaceTime with them. Are you seeing how much time this can save you now? Step 6, get comfy on camera. Everybody do it with me. Take a deep breath. And shake it out. And get your shoulders closer to the floor than your ears. You'd be amazed at how much tension we hold in these. What's my next step here? Eyeballs through the camera lens, not to the camera lens. This is not a piece of hardware. This is not some digital cyclops that we are trying to converse with. No, this is our target viewer that we've chosen this piece of content to be for. And because we've developed our target viewer personas and we're very detailed, we have a clear vision in our mind's eye of exactly who this is, and we're just going to picture them 2 feet on the other side of the camera lens. Because if you don't, you're going to make a bunch of video having your viewers saying, hey, my eyes are up here. Nobody wants that. Get conversational with one person. You'd be amazed at how many other people self-qualify into them being that one person. And just being in the mindset that you're just having a conversation across the coffee table with one person, that's going to get you more comfortable. It's going to get you more conversational. It's going to allow you to show up as you, even when there's just a camera in front of your face. And that is going to let you come across as you when people see this after it's published. That's the end goal. And find a home for your hands. Everybody's seen it. Everybody watches video. You get people stuck in prayer pose. You get diamond hands. You get people that don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're tossing up like a number 4 and it's just stuck to their chest because they have no idea what to do with their hands. If you're standing at your sides, in your pockets, behind your back, if you're sitting, tops of your thighs, arms of your chair. If you're a greasy Italian like me, let them fly, baby. Like, talk with them. That's fine. If that's who you are, if you're comfortable that way, do it. If you're not comfortable that way, find an intentional home for them first so you don't get stuck throwing up a gang sign you don't know about. Step 7, batch recording sessions. 1 video at a time is fine, especially if you're not doing any. That's more than you were before. But 10 videos in an hour, that's better. That's better. Because now we have our content multiplication. We have our target viewers. We have our content pillars. Multiply. If you have 5 content pillars with just 3 to 5 sub-bullets underneath each pillar, that's 25 topics. If you have 5 target viewers, that's not 30 pieces of content, that's 125. Because each topic should be done for each viewer because you want to speak to them specifically, because the context does change, because that's how it's going to land and resonate the most. Set aside 1 to 2 batch recording sessions a month. This is what I do for my clients. When I work with my founder and executive clients, I'm actually it's a virtual recording session. I personally coach them through making their video content for the month. I spend an hour with them. We rip off 10 to 15 videos. My team edits it. We kick it over to our copywriters. They write written copy and blog posts that are based on the messaging that they delivered, and then we post it and host it for them all over the place. It's a really efficient, easy process. When you're repurposing this for yourself, different version of the same thing, batch record, it's the way to go. It really is the way to go. Just have some topics and viewers prepped, just some bullet points on a piece of paper. That's all you really need. Don't script them. I feel like scripts lock you in. And if you mess up one word, you kind of get taken out of things. And being natural off of a script is a learned skill. I learned it myself. It took me like 50 scripted videos before I got comfortable. It's wild. So just some bullet points to keep you on track. That's all you need. And then batch record your stuff so you're making the highest and best use of your budgeted time. Step 8, video editing. Do you have more time or do you have more money? If you got more time, do it yourself. Descript, it's great. There's a chapter in this book that has a QR code that links you to a 30-minute long video that is me walking you through my personal short-form video content editing process in Descript. It's a good program. There's a free plan, or you can pay $30 a month or whatever it is for extra features. I pay the $30 a month. It's worth it for me. It's what I do for a living. It's not what you do for a living. Play around with it and figure it out for yourself. Or record like 7 takes until you get the perfect one and don't have to edit it. That's up to you. That's up to you. I like the editing because you can put some on-screen captions and stuff on there. Different things like that. Step 9, you're going to publish this content. I don't want you to think of creating this content in order to post it. Because post is very social media. I want you to create this content to publish it. It can go to a YouTube channel. I love YouTube. Even if you don't get any views, it's an online library for everything you make. And it's easy to point people to. It gives you embed links if you ever wanted something to live on a landing page on a website. It gives you short sharing links, makes it easy for you to share videos with people so you don't have to text or email the whole file to them. I love YouTube. Social medias, sure, you're going to want to publish on social media. Here's what people aren't out there coaching and saying. I hear a lot of people say, to really get after it and be successful on social media, you need to be posting like 7 to 12 times a day across all these platforms. The problem with that is that they're not wrong. They're not wrong. A lot of times, that's what it's going to take. But what they're not saying is that y'all need to baby step your way there. If you're not doing anything right now, start with like 1 a week. That's a win. On one platform, whatever platform you call home, and you guys know what that is. When you go to social media, you think of a platform. Oh, it's Facebook. Oh, for me, it's LinkedIn. That's my digital home. That's right here. Connect with me on LinkedIn, right there. That's my digital home. But you all have a digital home of some sort. Start there first, and then baby step your way up. Maybe it turns into 2 a week, and then maybe you add on an extra platform. If you're already on Facebook, I may as well add in Instagram because I can link those up so it goes to both of them. It's easy. Maybe you toss in LinkedIn. It's a bit more professional in nature. Baby step your way there. Don't overwhelm yourself because that is a recipe for burnout. And I've never seen a content strategy fail. I've only seen people quit before it worked. This is a mid to long-term strategy. It is 6 to 12 months before you actually start creating a meaningful amount of conversations from this stuff. It is a commitment. And because it's a commitment, because it's long-term, just like a diet, if you're trying to lose weight, you're not trying to rip off 20 pounds in the first 2 weeks. That's not healthy. Neither is trying to go from 0 to every single day across all platforms. That's not healthy. Don't do that. Baby step your way there. Blogs, websites, if you have websites, if you have a blog that you publish, every blog should have a video version also. It gives people options. Some people prefer to read, some people prefer to watch. It's more audience, it's extra eyeballs. Email campaigns and text messages, huge. LinkedIn did a study that showed that emails that had the word video in the subject line got a 3% higher open rate. There was not actually a video in the email. It just had the word video in the subject line. It got a 3% higher open rate. People want this stuff. And this is where people are paying attention. This is what they're paying attention to. And if you're visible there, your business will benefit from it. That's it. 9 steps, full content system. Gets you started, gets you going. If you need any info on this, let me know. Most of it's in the book, so you probably already have it. For those of you, I built in some time for Q&A, but I took it all. You're welcome. But there will be a table talk at 1 o'clock after lunch, which I have made sure that you are 2 minutes late for. I apologize. If you want to talk to me because you do have a little bit more money than time and you want to chat about maybe a content system for yourself, and working with me and my agency, that QR code will link you straight to my booking link. So just book a call, We'll get on the horn. We'll chat about some stuff. And if you just want to shoot the breeze, do that anyway. Thank you for your time. Let's eat.